Hello everyone, welcome back to new video in React Basics learning series. As part of this video we are going to cover the mark task as completed functionality and dynamic rendering for the completed task list. In the previous videos like we completed till this point, so if you go back and run your application using npm start, you will be able to see your latest app, and I can add new tasks here like gym. So this much is already built. If in your case this you are not able to see these things working, please make sure you go back and watch the previous videos, then you can follow from here. So let's get started. First of all, you need to open your VS Code and start the application using npm start command. Once that is done, then we can start the coding. So far, like, we have built the add task wrapper, and within the add task wrapper we have the input and button. So this is basically for adding new tasks, and then we have to do tasks. We are iterating over to do tasks to generate the this particular section dynamically. Now as part of this list item, we want to have one more uh, thing, which is going to provide us a actionable button, and based on that button click we are going to mark this task as completed and move it to the completed list. So let's add a button here. So again, this button is imported from nDesign, and for this button we need to have certain props. So let's add those props. So first of all, like, we need to have a on click handler. uh, let's call it mark handle, sorry, handle mark completed. So this is the method that we are going to implement. Then we need to give a type. So let's give a type as primary for this button as well, as this is a primary action for the user. Then we can add some icon. As part of this, I wanted to add a um, icon which is like shows a tick mark in the button. So let's import that from nDesign. It's called check circle outlined. So this is the icon that we will be importing, and let's close this. Now this icon should be imported from nDesign. So if you go at top and see the imports, we are having a import for plus circle outline. Similarly, we need to add one more import for check circle outlined, and you can save it. So once we have all these, then we need to provide shape for this circle, shape for the button. So let's give it again, shape is a prop for this particular component. So here we can give shape as. So, and also if you want to understand how the I'm getting these props, basically we can go to nDesign documentation and see all these details, and I think this much is sufficient. Let's remove this. So what I was talking about is you can go to nDesign documentation, and so these are the different kinds of shapes that you can create for a button. And if you want to check the source code for that, you can click on this code icon and then go down and see how they have so for each button there is a type, shape and icon. Based on that, basically that button gets rendered. So similarly, in our case also we have implemented in a similar way. Now the remaining thing is this handler implementation. So let's see how can we implement this handler. So let's add a handler const. This is the method name that we want to implement. Now whenever you mark a task as completed, what all things should happen? First of all, like you need to know which task you want to mark as completed. So we need to get some index for that particular task because we have a to do tasks list. So until we don't know the index for the task which we want to mark as completed, we won't be able to remove that from the list. So let's add task task index as a input parameter for this method, and then we can store the completed task in a variable. So let's call it completed task, and because we have the all the tasks in to do tasks list, so we can use to do tasks and use the task index here to access that. Now we have the completed task here. Now the next thing that we need to do is remove the this task from the to do list. So as once you remove it from the list, it will disappear from the view. So basically it will disappear from here, and the next thing is we need to add it into the completed task list. So let's go back and implement this. So the second functionality is remove the task from the to do tasks list. To achieve this, what we can do is we can create a new constant, and this is called as new task to do list. And how do we get this new to do list? So basically we will be running a reduce on to do tasks. So let's use this particular state variable, and we will be using reduce. So in this case, because we want to um, get rid of certain tasks, so that's why I'm using reduce. There could be multiple ways to achieve this, but this is uh, more readable and followed very commonly. If you want to learn more about JavaScript reduce method, please comment reduce in the comment box for this particular video, and I will create a video on reduce. Now let's go back, and for a reduce in JavaScript there are three things that you need to use. First is the accumulator, which accumulates all the items that we want to reduce, and then we have index. So at the end, accumulator will have everything that you want to have in the final list. So the idea here is to you are right the idea here is like you are going over to do task list, and based on certain condition you want to get rid of certain entries from this task list, and you want a final array to be returned. So that array will be the accumulator, and this is what gets returned at the end. So and at here basically you need to initialize the accumulator. So for that, let's initialize it with empty array, which means like we have initialized accumulator with empty array, and we need to, based on condition, we need to keep on updating this value, this array, and at the end the whatever is the um, array whatever is the array that gets returned back, which will be stored here, new to do list. Now what is the condition based on which we want to filter out the completed item? So the condition would be if let's call it, so if task index, right, this is the task index that we have. If task index is uh, not equal to the index, so in this case we want to basically add the item to the accumulator. Only when it is equal to the index, in that case we don't want to add it to accumulator, which means all the tasks except the completed task uh, will get added to this accumulator. So let's add it. So here we can call it as so this is named it as item, so let's call it as task, and then we can push the task here. So that's it, and then at the end we need to return accumulator. So with this we have a to-do list which without the completed task. The next thing that we need to do is add this add the completed task to the completed task list, and to do that basically we just need to set. Okay, so far, like, I think we have not implemented the set completed task list, so let's do that first. So as we have this completed task list as a static like constant, we need to get rid of this constant and create a new state variable for storing the completed task list. So here I will call it as completed tasks, and set. So this is the setter method, and we can use again the use state, and let's initialize the completed task list with the empty array. So we have a completed tasks as a state variable, and this is the setter for the completed task. Now let's go back and set the completed tasks here. So let's call the set completed tasks, and here what we need to do is uh, first spread the existing completed task. So this is existing completed tasks, and on top of this we need to add the completed task that we whenever user is marking a particular task as completed, that is coming here. So we are just appending at the end. One more thing that we need to do is, like, we have this new to-do list, so basically we need to set this list as well. So let's update the set what was the setter for this? Set to do tasks. So basically we need to use set to do tasks, and we can set the new to do list to this, which means like your task list will get updated and completed task will be removed from the list. So I think that's all for this, and let's see how it looks in the UI. So it says completed task is not defined. Let's go back and see what is completed task. So here we are iterating over the completed task, but we removed that variable and made it completed tasks. So let's go back and get rid of this particular variable and replace it with completed tasks. So as you can see, now we don't have anything in completed task list because we initialized it with empty array here in the use state, and we have empty to do tasks as well, that is also initialized as a empty array. Once we start adding new tasks, so let's add a new task, learning React basics lecture 10, then play cricket, then go to gym. So basically I added 3 tasks. As you can see, this button started appearing here, and if I click on this button, ideally this task should be removed from here and it should be marked as completed and moved to this list. So let's click on this. Okay, I think there is something going wrong here. Let's go back and check. Okay, so I got it. what happens is this handle mark completed click. This particular method requires the task index, but we are not passing the task index here. To pass the task index, basically we need to again create a arrow function here, and we should be calling this method with the task index. So how do we get the index? We can get index from uh, this loop. So here we need to add the index, and this will be the index of the task, and we can pass that index here, right? With this I think we are good and it should work. So let's go back and see. Let's refresh this page, add new tasks, learning React basics number 10, and add this task, play cricket. Okay, I will add just 2 tasks and let's try. Okay, it's working now. So as you can see, this from this to do task list, this task gets removed and it gets added in the completed task list. Similarly, if I mark this as completed, this to do task list becomes empty and it gets added to the completed task list. Let's add one more task. Go to gym. Okay, I added a new task. One thing that I can notice here is like this button and the task is like very close. Let's beautify it a bit. So if I come here, this is the list item, and then we have okay. So for list item, and we have this button. Let's try to put some style on this. If we put margin left auto. Okay, so if I put margin left as auto for this button, it automatically gets right aligned. So even if you add some new tasks, it should basically okay, let me add this style first. So let's go back to the button. So this is the button. This is the button that we added. Let's give it a class name. Class name as mark completed button, and let's add a style for this mark completed button. So here I will paste this class and add margin left as auto, which means it should automatically right align. Let's see. um, Learning React, as you can see, it gets aligned automatically now. So go to gym, then play cricket. So I added all 3 tasks and all of them is getting properly right aligned, so this looks nicer. And if I mark this task as completed, these are getting marked as completed. So that's good. I think we are able to achieve whatever we wanted as part of this series. Now in the coming videos I'm going to cover some very important points like what are props and how you can create components. So basically we will be working on refactoring this code a bit because it is a very large code at this point. We want to refactor this app component and move the separate out like the smaller chunks of functionality to separate components for easy readability and the design as we thought in the initial design. So basically we will be refactoring as per that design. So we will have separate components for the actions wrapper, then this list, and like each of the items also will be a separate component. So in the upcoming lecture I will be doing the refactoring part. So far we are able to achieve the functionality, and I did it intentionally because I wanted to show you sometimes there are scenarios when you need to implement the functionality fast, so and you don't know what are the abstractions that you can create in the early phase. So in that case, what you can do, you can get started with the implementation, and once you are confident about the feature and the things start working, basically you can start thinking about what are the abstractions uh, which are there, and you can start separating those things out as its own components and all. So it is a very easy way uh, uh, in terms of thinking about React. Now I think we are good with this implementation so far, and uh, I hope you guys are enjoying the learning series. If you if this series is adding value for you, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you think any of your friends can get benefited from this series, please make sure you share it with them. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.